Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we'll explore the fascinating life of Charles Darwin and his groundbreaking theory of evolution through natural selection. Charles Darwin, born in 1809, was a visionary who changed the way we understand the natural world, from his early years to the renowned expedition aboard the HMS Beagle. But what's the theory that made Darwin so famous? The theory of evolution through natural selection. This theory explains how species evolve over time. Natural selection is the central concept of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. It is based on several key observations. Variability in populations. Species exhibit hereditary variations among individuals. These variations, visible or not, can influence adaptation to environments. Differential survival and reproduction. In each generation, there are more individuals than the environment can support. This competition for resources means some individuals are more successful in surviving and reproducing than others. Inheritance of traits. Characteristics contributing to survival and reproduction tend to be passed down to successive generations. Natural selection occurs when individuals with adaptive traits advantageous for their environment have a higher likelihood of surviving and reproducing, passing on their traits to subsequent generations. This process leads to gradual changes in population characteristics over time. Traits enhancing survival and reproduction become increasingly common, while those decreasing survival and reproduction become less frequent or disappear. For Darwin, this process of natural selection was the primary driver of species evolution. Over millions of years, small cumulative changes accumulated, leading to the vast diversity of life we observe today. Natural selection is a continuous process acting on random variations in populations, determining the direction of species evolution over time. Evidence supporting Darwin's theory of evolution has been gathered through decades of scientific research, drawing from various disciplines. Some of the most significant evidence includes fossils and the geological record. Fossils provide direct evidence of past life forms. The fossil record shows gradual transitions between species, demonstrating evolutionary changes over time. Comparative anatomy. Anatomical similarities among species suggest a common origin and evolutionary relationships. For instance, homologous structures, similar in appearance but with different functions, in vertebrates indicate a common ancestor. Comparative embryology. Studies of embryonic development highlight similarities among embryos of different species, suggesting evolutionary relatedness. Biogeography. The geographical distribution of species supports the idea that species evolved in response to local environmental conditions. For example, similar species are often found in geographically close areas despite different environments. Adaptations and vestigial traits. Organisms' adaptations to their environments and the presence of vestigial structures suggest that species have adapted and continue to adapt to their environments over time. Genetic evidence. Modern genetics provides significant evidence for evolution. DNA similarity between species demonstrates evolutionary relationships, and genetic mutations provide the raw material for natural selection. Direct observations of evolution. In recent decades, scientists have directly observed evolution in action, such as populations adapting to new environmental conditions or artificial selection processes in laboratories. These converging pieces of evidence from various scientific disciplines support the validity of Darwin's theory of evolution and form the basis of modern evolutionary biology. The lack of detailed explanations on genetic inheritance was a significant issue. The exact mechanism through which traits were passed from generation to generation wasn't fully understood. Although the fossil record supported the idea of evolution, gaps and transitions between species raised questions about the completeness of the evidence, even though many evolutionary transitions were documented. Furthermore, Darwin's theory faced challenges in explaining the evolution of complex organs without external guidance. This point raised questions about how complex structures could evolve gradually through natural selection without external direction. Some rapid evolutionary changes seem to contradict the timescales predicted by Darwin's theory, raising doubts about the speed of evolution and its compatibility with Darwin's proposed timescales. Finally, the integration of modern genetics led to modifications and integrations into Darwin's theory. The importance of random mutations and population genetics contributed to a broader understanding of evolution and its dynamics. These criticisms guided further scientific research and developments. It's important to note that Darwin's theory remains a cornerstone of evolutionary biology, even as it integrates new discoveries and understandings. Darwin's theory of evolution has left a significant imprint on modern science, imparting key concepts that have been integrated and expanded upon by subsequent research. Some of the fundamental evolutionary concepts applied in modern science, derived from Darwin's ideas, include natural selection, the central concept of Darwin's theory. Natural selection is the primary mechanism through which populations change over time in response to environmental pressures, with better adapted individuals having higher chances of survival and reproductive success. Inheritance of traits. Darwin recognized the importance of how traits are inherited across successive generations. This concept was further developed through genetics, demonstrating how genes carry information for the transmission of inherited traits. Adaptation. Darwin emphasized the importance of species adapting to environmental conditions. This concept is fundamental in understanding how organisms change to survive and thrive in their environment. Speciation. Darwin's theory has implications for the formation of new species. Separate populations can evolve differently and over time become so distinct as to constitute new species. Evolution of species. The idea that living species are the result of a long evolutionary process involving gradual changes over millions of years. Diversity of life forms. Darwin contributed to explaining the diversity of life observed in the world by proposing the idea that all current life forms share a common ancestor. Vestigial adaptations. Darwin highlighted the presence of vestigial structures, such as the human appendix, which might be remnants of features useful to our ancestors, but no longer functional in our modern evolution. These concepts form a crucial foundation for modern evolutionary biology and have influenced many other scientific disciplines, from genetics and molecular biology to ecology and anthropology. Darwin's theory has laid a solid groundwork for understanding the natural world and its continuous adaptation and change over time. This is why Charles Darwin's figure and his theory of evolution remain incredibly relevant in contemporary scientific discourse. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Darwin's life and revolutionary ideas.